Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah wa ba'd. Right, what I want to do here is just basically explain to you what I do after I've been cured basically from everything, alhamdulillah. So I put the two documents in the description. These are the only two documents I use now. Okay, so these are for myself. That's what I'm talking about. For myself, these are the two documents I use for myself. I mean, to check if anything is there, basically. So if we click the first one, the Relief Ruqya 5.0 document. So if I feel some extra waswas, I feel strange, if anything, I would do the Relief Ruqya 5.0 on myself. That's what I would do. Okay? And if I and what I would do next, maybe I would read three pairs of Falaq, Surahs Falaq and Nas, or maybe 7 pairs. And what I would do then, I would check. So number one, as you can see, number one, with the intention for relief. Okay, so I would do that on myself. Okay, if I sense something strange happening, you know, whatever it could be, pain or whatever it is, you just feel that maybe you're being under attack. If I feel I'm under attack, then I would read that. Okay, and I did it this morning. Okay, then what I would do, number two, look at number two, diagnosis, to see if the Relief Ruqya 5.0 has had an effect. I would do this diagnosis. Because how would I know if it has had an effect, if it's picked up a spiritual disease? Well, I wouldn't know until I do the Ruqya diagnosis. Even if you get reactions, it doesn't mean 100% that you've picked something up. What could be reacting could be Iblis, my curse, be reacting because you're connected to him. Okay? So I would do this next. See if the Ruqya I just did, if it's had an effect. And if I get reactions, and I say, oh, okay, it's had an effect. So what would I do next? I would carry on reading the Ruqya myself. I would carry on reading the Ruqya myself until I get a reaction for number 3, diagnosis, to see if the Ruqya has been completed. You see? Then after that, after Ruqya has been completed, I get reaction that the Ruqya is completed. I will see if there's any information to extract. There might not be. Okay, so I will check if there's any information for me to extract, or I'll do this diagnosis. I will do this here. Okay, you could do it. Doesn't really matter how you do it. I haven't put that that intention. If there's any information to extract, I haven't put that here because we know this from our experience, and I put all that information regarding how to extract information from the advanced 7-stage plan. So I'm not going to put. I didn't feel I need to put this here because most of you are familiar with that who have been following me on YouTube. So what I would do next, okay, you could do this. So after you've completed the treatment, number 3. So if you reacted to that diagnosis that the Relief Ruqya 5.0 has been completed, then I would do this next. There's one way of doing it. Doing this next. See if I get a reaction for this because I'm looking for a reaction that all the information has been completed. Meaning. That's all I needed to know. That I've picked up some spiritual diseases, something has happened. Okay, maybe there's no important. If there's any important information, there might not be any important information for me to extract. So then I would do this diagnosis, number 4. I'll do the diagnosis. If I get a reaction, alhamdulillah, then what it is, then I'll move on. If you don't get a reaction, that means there is obviously some information to extract. Then you'll have to extract that information, whatever that information would be. Maybe Allah wants you to know that there was some jinn maybe trying to attack you. Maybe a human sahid is trying to attract you. Maybe Iblis is trying to do something to you. You'll have to extract that information. Okay, that's what you would have to do. And obviously, I've given you examples of that. If you go back to Advanced 7-Stage Plan, that document, those videos, and go back to the overview document for the 7-Stage Plan, Advanced 7-Stage Plan, and I've explained to you how to extract that information because I'm not going to do that here. Okay. Right, so after, let's just say I react to this diagnosis. Okay, alhamdulillah, I've got all the information that I need. I don't need to extract any information. Then what would I do next? Well, next would be number 5. Okay, number 5 would be to see if I need to do stage 4 on myself. Do I need to do stage 4? If I get a reaction, okay, we need to do stage 4. Sometimes you might not get a reaction for this. All right, let's just say you got a reaction. Okay, you got a reaction, then you need to do stage 4. All right, there's stage 4 there, number 6 there, and you'll have to read that, probably leave that for about 20 minutes. Okay, when you're doing all the diagnosis here and all the treatment, it will be just Surah Falaq and Nas. That's all you will be doing. You won't be doing anything else. Right, so I'll do stage 4. Let's say, for instance, I have to do stage 4. So I'll do stage 4 myself, maybe 20 minutes. Then after that, I'll move on to number 7 here. Stage 5 diagnosis. Okay, which will let me know if the stage 4 has been completed. I'll do that diagnosis. If I get a reaction, I'll keep repeating Surah Falaq and Nas. I get a reaction, then I know that has been completed. Stage 4 has been completed. Then I'll move on to 8. The diagnosis to see if I need to do stage 6. If I get a reaction, then you know you need to do stage 6. You might not get a reaction, okay? So you might not get a reaction, all right? But if let's say, for instance, I did get a reaction, then I'll go into number 9 and do stage 6 treatment on myself. Okay, I'll do stage 6 treatment on myself. Right. After that, after I've completed that, okay, then I'll move on to final cure, comprehensive cure diagnosis. The final comprehensive cure diagnosis. I'll do that diagnosis, get a reaction, then I know, alhamdulillah, I'm cured from all of my spiritual diseases. Now, let's just say you didn't react to stage 4. So you didn't react to number 5 here. Diagnosis to check if you need to do stage 4. Well, you move on. You'll jump onto number 8. Diagnosis to see if you need to do stage 6. Because you didn't need to do stage 4. Most likely, you won't need to do stage 6. So do number 8. Do that diagnosis. You don't get a reaction, meaning you don't need to do it. You don't need to do stage 6. And then that's what you need to do there, if that is the case. Meaning you did your Relief Ruqyah 5.0 on yourself. And then you checked if it had an effect, and it did have an effect. So what does that mean? Well, you carry on until you complete the treatment. So you completed the treatment, okay? You completed the treatment, so you go, okay, Relief Ruqyah 5.0 has been completed. Right. Then you go into the, see if you've got all the information regarding the extracted, if there's all the information has been extracted. You react to that. You get reaction for that. Then you move on. Then you find that you don't need to do stage 4. Okay, you don't need to do stage 4. And you find that you don't need to do stage 6. Okay, so what you do then, you'll come to number 10, the final cure comprehensive cure diagnosis, number 1. You'll wait, I'll say just wait 30 seconds to 1 minute, wait, and then do the diagnosis. Because you didn't need to do, yes, you pick something up, some spiritual diseases, but sometimes there's no need to do maybe the treatments, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already with the pathways will deal with those things. Because remember, those intentions are already in the pathway. Stage 4 and stage 6 are in the pathway, so sometimes you don't need to read it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clears the thing himself for you. Okay, so you wait 30 after getting the reaction that you've extracted all the important information. What you will do next is do diagnosis, the diagnosis in number 10. You wait 30 seconds and then you do the diagnosis, okay, using Surahs Falaq and Nas. You get your reaction, it means that you're cured, alhamdulillah. You don't need to worry. Allah's cured you from all of your spiritual diseases. That's what's basically, that is what I'm basically doing. I did it yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I did it yesterday, and it did. There was something there, but from what I remember, I didn't need to do. No, sorry, it's the day before yesterday. I didn't need to do any treatments on myself. All right. If you look at number 11 here, I've put the updated version of the reset here as well for you. So you might find that sometimes there's something wrong with your pathways. Well, here's the information. You just need to do this reset ruqyah here if you need to do it. Okay? And how you would do that is like you would read maybe for 20 minutes Surahs Falaq and Nas with that intention, and then you wait until and then you'd see until you get reacted to number 12 here, that the ruqyah has been completed. You see, for those who don't know if they need to do it or not, well, you got number 13 here. You can do diagnosis there using Surahs Falaq and Nas. If you react to this, it means that you have to do the relief ruqyah on yourself. So then do the relief ruqyah on yourself then, you know, until you react to number 12, that you've completed it. Right. I've added something extra here, number 14 and number 15, which are the strengthening, which we've covered in the advanced 7-stage plan. I thought I'll just put it here for you, so you don't have to go look around for other documents. It's all here. You might have to strengthen your pathway. So if you look at 15, scroll right to the end, 15, that's the one I do. Now and again I would do this just to check if my pathways are at 100% for spiritual diseases. You see, so I'll check myself, read that, do that diagnosis, I get a reaction, and say, alhamdulillah, that's fine. I don't have to do any more salah on the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or I don't have to read the 2 du'as because my pathways are working at 100%, alhamdulillah. You see, these two, number 14 and number 15, I didn't, they're in their original states, the original form, because I didn't need to update them, alhamdulillah. I left them the way they were. There was no need for an update there. Deep. So that's basically what I do if I feel that there is something. Now, if I didn't get a reaction for the spiritual diseases, meaning this issue I'm feeling like maybe some extra waswas or some issue I feel, if I didn't react to the 5.0 Relief Ruqya 5.0, I would think, okay, maybe this issue I'm feeling or this thing I think I've got, it could be to do with non-spiritual diseases. So what do? We'll go to the non-spiritual disease document. So let's look at that now. So if you click the other document in the description, we go to Relief Ruqya for non-STs. What I would do, scroll down, I'll go to where are we? Sorry, we've done basically, that doesn't need to be done. Well, you can, what I would do first of all, maybe check if your pathways are okay for the non-spiritual disease. So look at B. If you look at B, do a little check. And the pathways are 100% for the non-spiritual diseases. You get a reaction, okay, alhamdulillah, that's good. Then you move on. Then what I would do, okay, if you look at F, what I would do, my version of this, which I've saved somewhere, what I would do, that little problem I'm feeling, I would add it to here, because maybe it's a spiritual disease, maybe it's a non-spiritual disease. Even though it feels like waswas or something, it could be non-spiritual disease. So what I would do, I would put all of my strange feeling I'm having diseases. Basically, I'll write some disease to explain or describe what I'm suffering from. Okay, so then I would add that to this. You might feel pain somewhere in your arm, so then you write a new intention for that. All of my new pain arm diseases. Okay, and you put that in there because it's the first time you have. You don't need to worry about putting number 2 there or anything like that. Now, with the other diseases which are in your list, you'll have to put a number 2 or number 3 or number 4, whatever, depending on how many times you've done that ruqya in yourself. Okay? Meaning, you're taking all of your diseases that you've mentioned, which you've defined yourself in your version of F, basically. Okay, here, your version of F. The new disease that you've put in there, maybe your arm, feeling pain in your arm diseases, okay, that's the first time you've mentioned it, the first time you suffered from it, so you put it in there. The others you have to obviously update, put number 2 in those certain places that I've told you. And if you look back in the previous videos, I've explained to you where to put that, okay, where to put that number 2. So it will be like all of my arm pain 2 disease, or all of my arm pain diseases for the new disease that you're feeling for. For something new, for something new, that would be for something new. But for something you've previously had, like here, what you would do would be all of my itchy skin 2 diseases. Or it could be all of my skin 2 diseases. It will be like that. You will do it like that for the ones that you've covered before. You see. And now you apply that number 2 to everything else. Some of you may be on for number 3 or number 4. Then you just appropriately, obviously, remove the number 2 or 3 and put number 5 then. Because if you've done it several times, so then you need to update that, you see. Okay, so you've put, basically, I've put my new thing I'm suffering from, the pain arm, all of my arm pain diseases. Okay, and then I've updated everything with a number 5 or appropriately what number you need to put in there. Okay, for your version of number F. Then after doing that, then I will do G1. Me personally, I won't do G1 because I already know how to do that, okay? But for you who maybe get confused when I try to describe that, how to do the ruqya for Relief Ruqya for non-STs, you got confused, then you do G1 on yourself, Okay, you do G1 on yourself. That's what you would do. You would do G1 on yourself. Like I said, I don't do G1 on myself because I don't have that problem of not understanding how to do it. Alhamdulillah. So I know how to do that. So I've got my own. Basically, I take the long version, which is basically G3. That's what I do on myself because I don't have a problem with it. But if you're one of those people who got confused with it, then you do G1. Read G1 with your new version of F3, which you've put your new disease of that feeling in arm pain, all of my arm feeling pain diseases. You put that in there and you've updated all the other numbers with a number 5, for instance. Okay. And then you read G1 on yourself. You know, you read G1 on yourself for about 5 minutes or so. Okay. You probably need to do 3 pairs of Falaq and Nas or 7 pairs of Falaq and Nas. Okay, and once you've done that, then you scroll down and you get to H. Okay, you get to H. And what you do that diagnosis there and see if you've picked something up. If you react to H, the diagnosis in H here, the diagnosis to see if the relief ruqyah for non-STs has had any effects. If it's had any effects, then what you would do, okay, you have to complete the treatment then. So if it's had an effect and you react to that, then obviously you're going to have to move on to I. Alright, you're going to have to move on to I. And carry on doing that G1, relief ruqyah yourself, until you react to I, basically. After that, then you're going to see if you react to J. You got all the basically you have to extract all the important information. Then if you react to it, then fine. If you don't react to it, then obviously extract the important information that you have to, basically. Then you might not have to look at J1. You might not have to do stages 4 and 5. That might be the case. Right, then you'll move on. If you have to do it, then obviously you have to do stages 4 and 5. Okay, and basically follow the same instructions I've given you regarding the relief ruqyah. Find out if you have to do stages 4, 5 and 6. You might have to do them. If you don't, then you move on. You'll move on. Let's say, for instance, in my situation, when I did it recently, I didn't have to do the stages 4 and 5 and 6. Okay, so what I did is look at P. I did P. Just to waited a few seconds, 30 to 1 minute, 30 seconds or so. Maybe for me it was maybe only 10 seconds. I think I waited 10 to 30 seconds, and then I did P here, the final comprehensive cure diagnosis. I did that, and I got my reactions. Then alhamdulillah, I was okay. So that's basically what I do. So I don't really refer to any other documents now. That's all I'm referring to. These are the 2 documents I use. So if I feel that there is something happening, I feel maybe I'm under attack, let's check relief ruqyah 5.0 first of all. If I don't get any reactions there, nothing is happening there, when I check if the relief ruqyah has had an effect, no reactions, then I move on to the relief ruqyah for non-STs. I do that. And so I pick something up there, then I carry on, go through the process. So that's basically what I'm doing now. That's it, alhamdulillah. That's all I really want to say here. The next video, hopefully, which I'm going to upload, will be a simplified version of this. Okay, a simplified version of all of this, because for the diagnosis, for some people, it's just too much. And what I recently did, a treatment on a patient where I took out most of the diagnosis. The only diagnosis I did on the patient was the final cure diagnosis, and to see if the pathways were are 100% for the non-spiritual diseases. That's all I did on them, you know. And then what I thought about was that, well, if I was able to do that just with 2 diagnoses, what about if I design a way of doing it, a methodology where the only thing the patient needs to do is the final cure diagnosis. Let's have a go at that. So that's what I'm gonna do, upload in the next video. A way of doing it. So somebody who doesn't know anything about my methodology, you know, whatever they're suffering from, they can try this methodology. And the only diagnosis they need to do at the end will be the final cure diagnosis, inshallah ta'ala. So that's hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, what I want to upload next. Dave, that's all I wanted to say here.